Hi guys, welcome back to another Explain 12 video, doing our second one in a row. It's been the Black Friday sales and I decided to get some new aircrafts. One of them being the JRollon CRJ-200, which is not actually a Explain 12 native aircraft, it's for Explain 11. The developer has published out some compatibility fixes. I think he's mainly done that since, well, the early Explain 11 days. And but it's still a very functional aircraft. I don't think there's any issues with this one. I also got the jet stream from him, where I think there might be some issues. But overall, I don't think this one has any larger problems, if any at all. Apart from it being, of course, quite an old add-on, I think originally for Explain 10, so you'll see some of the textures being a bit old. Maybe you can see already here with some of these, the door. And I mean, when you go close in, you can see it's not maybe Tolis A320 level. But it is, I would say, good enough. And for me, it's not all about the textures and that sort of stuff. It's more about the plane itself. And this is the CRJ-200, which I don't think there's any version. I think Aerosoft CRJs are only the 5.5, and I don't think there's any 200 version for the sim, the Microsoft Flight Sim. So this is the best you can get in that regard in terms of flight simming. But it's old, and it's very similar to our CRJs, so I'm in that way, you know, it might be recommended to get those instead, and also, you know, those are more in use nowadays. Lufthansa did use this one. They don't use it any more. I don't think they ever had this new livery on it, but I thought it would be fun to try it on. What else? This is not the default Prague airport. I had some mod that I found that made it a bit nicer looking. So there's some tweaks, and the reason I'm going to be flying from Prague to Brussels is because I actually traveled there recently. I did a flight down to Brussels and then to Prague for a training, and then I flew back to Helsinki and then to Arlanda. So I thought it would be fun to do this, to do a flight between these two airports that I hadn't actually been to previously, both Prague and Brussels, and with a new aircraft as well, at least in my lineup. Not a new aircraft itself, but a new aircraft for this guy, aka me. But let's see. Let's get started. We're gonna talk on as we go. We can start with the first thing, opening all of these. So basically it's just opening like that, and then we can do the ground handling widget, which I think works rather well. You can add some cool stuff. Let me see if we can drive up, so you can connect the GPU with that. Or actually you don't need the GPU, I think this one has a inbuilt GPU. You can also have, like, if you want to have a limousine and another vehicle, but we can maybe remove the limousine part. That seemed a bit far-fetched. You can also have the fuel loader, of course, with ground handling. We're not gonna use that. We'll just put this so it looks like there's some life around this aircraft. And before I get started and show you more of the inside, I just want to show you the external one. We'll do a free camera for that. Let me just see, I need to use the right. As you can see, it's a pretty okay external model. But as you get closer, you kind of notice, right? It's not the best. But I mean, other than that, it's not any major flaws, I think. I'm not an expert, of course, so do feel free to point them out. But I think it looks pretty good, you know, the engine and stuff. I think this is like sufficient for me in terms of the exterior. So that's nice. It will also be cool to see how it looks up in the air, of course. We have the cloud tweaker, and supposedly with this new X-Plane beta release, the clouds are supposed to look even better, and I do think they are. I mean, that's one of the key reasons with the cloud tweaker I've been flying X-Plane 12 more, because the clouds have just been very nice. So it's actually a lot of fun to fly up there. And to me, of course, the clouds are more important. The ground needs to be a certain level, but if the clouds are really good, that's just very nice. And but I also have something else that I'm gonna show you, but I'll just show you the inside first. So let me go to the inside, to the cockpit. As you can see, it's quite a decent cockpit. You do have quite good text on certain areas. I do have a mod for it that's available on the forums, so some of these are more clearer. There is some buttons that are non-pushable, I think, such as the fire motor, the tests. You can see it looks very similar to the newer CRJs, but there are differences, right? So that's one of the reasons why I did want to get this. Still seems to be some problems with the jet face in the cockpit view. I don't know if Laminar has noticed that, but hopefully they can fix it. Otherwise pretty good. The overhead panel, the main kind of panel, captain side, the flight officer, first officer I mean, and then of course the throttle and the pedestal. In terms of the inside, you do have one of those. I think you can open the door. This one is actually a bit older, as you can see. Let me see, I have some viewpoints. I set up a few different ones from outside. As you can see, the inside is not the best, but it's pretty good. It's pretty decent. I think you get the, for example, no smoking and those kind of things show up in the cabin, so that's pretty nice. Can't open, so some of these are closed, which is sad. But I do keep the inside view for the wing view, even if it's a bit, it's not the best, but it's at least not, I would say, worse, at least the windows, than the Tolis one. So that's something to keep in mind. It does look pretty good from here. Oh, and you can control the the side handle. So yeah, that's about it. And we do have a Simbrief flight plan. We do also have, I mean, we basically have everything kind of set up nicely. Let me just see. Yeah, we do have some sound outside. Sorry, I got confused since I didn't hear anything on the inside. But I guess the ambience kind of sound or environmentals, you won't hear that. This is actually, I think, also one of the nicer airports. Maybe Warsaw is the nicest one I have in X-Plane, since it's a bit more modded. But it does look very neat. But yeah, let's actually just start filling things in so we can get flying. The first thing the first thing to note is that you need to do the, sorry, not that one. You need to do the weight and balance through this, not for the fuel, but for the payload weight. And the first thing I would do, actually, before I do that, is I would go here with the master battery on. I don't have any sound packs, but there is a recommended one. Do know that apparently it's broken in X-Plane 12, so you need some other sound packs file to do that, so I can't recommend it as of yet. But oh wait, we don't want to do that yet. But I can at least let you know that there is one out there that's supposed to make this very nice. So we can do the external AC power, put that on, and as you can see, we're getting all of these screens on. I'm not even sure if this decision height is working. It seems to spin, but I just haven't been able to get it up and running, at least not to the extent that I would want to. And let me see, I'm actually gonna go and check, because this one does have, you need to have the the manual for this one, because in order to set some of the takeoff stuff, so I'm just gonna open that. Let me just see which one it is. Could be the pilot handbook. Yeah, the pilot handbook has it, right? So this is how it looks. And then you will have all these different speeds and stuff, and for the different weights and what to use when. I think so, at least. Yeah, landing distance, that sort of stuff. So that's pretty good. They have some good manuals. There's tutorial flights, even in Spanish. So that's, yeah, to be aware. What else? You can hide the yoke and get it back. We'll hide it for now, just because it's easier to work around that. You even have a co-pilot, which I kind of like. You can remove him, of course, but I think it's actually a very well made, you know, guy. And in this plane, at least, he's not in front of anything, right? So it does work quite well. We can, okay, this one is also something you can't really put it to arm. You just put it on, and then that kind of arms it. The no smoking you can put on those, so that's good to be aware of. Same with the seat belt. I'm gonna put on also pack X now, so that we have that set up. Our flight number today is 211 with a cruise altitude of 34,000 feet. Which sounds very high. 37,000, okay, so it does have that. We'll just put some random flight time because I didn't bother checking that. And then let's see if we have the CRJ-200, which we do. We can put it on the full. I don't think we're going to be all passengers, right? But I think we're like 49. But might as well be worth it. We'll put the Lufthansa boarding and the Lufthansa safety. I tried to have a look at the airlines that use this plane, and there's a lot of like regionals in the US, right? But nothing. Let's put this to nav as well, but nothing, not that many kind of like well-known carriers. But I do have liveries for kind of everything: American, United, even SAS, right? So there's a lot of fictional ones out there. Okay, so boarding fuel, or the block fuel, should be 5460. So that changes that. Now we can go to the weight in order to make sure we get the right total weight. And the zero fuel should be 43.2. So the way we can look at this is that, of course, with the 5.4 we should have the total minus that should give us the zero fuel weight, right? So now if you have this, for example, minus 5, that's 43. So we're still a bit below. Now we are at 49. I don't think there's a sim brief. I'm actually wondering if there is a airframe, right? That can sometimes help, but doesn't seem to be one, unfortunately. Okay, so we do want to get this up a bit. So this one should give us almost that. So now it's about 4,350 to be precise. Now we would want to get it down to 43,500. We would want to get it down to 200, right? So we would decrease this to that, and then we can do done. We can apply our changes, and then we're ready. And now I want to show the cool feature that so I'm gonna just quickly jump out. And this is a plugin. I don't think it's that new, or I think it's quite old, but it's been updated recently, and it's called Walk Around. So then you press start walking, and then let me see. It says bust is used for movement, so you move like this, and then let me just think if or check if it has any other. S for disable, of F and R is for crouch, C for sprinting. So you can do walkarounds, right? And it works very well, to be honest. So you can look at the pitot tubes here. And this works with every aircraft, right? So that's also a cool feature of it. I guess I don't think it's a Lua plugin actually, so let's try with Lua. It's a separate one. Looks very nice. Things look like they're working. Not that I would know exactly what to find, but I guess it's cracks and stuff. We're looking at the engines. And I guess the wings would be the same, any sort of stress damage. But yeah, so just wanted to show you this new plugin, or new, but the existing plugin, so that you are aware of it, and you know, maybe you want to do it. I like to do the walk around sometimes, so even if it's unnecessary, but it's just I guess immersion, extra experience, so to speak. But now let me quit this by pressing ESC. I think that quit it. Yeah. So as you can see, it was a very kind of easy fix. Now it seems to be working correctly. I guess there was some FPS drop there. Anything else that I want to mention? I don't think so. Let's move forward a bit, and then as we go, let me just check, do we do pushback from here, or do we just, I guess we can just drive forward. But yeah, as we go, I'll fill you in on the quirks and stuff. There's some, not that many, but a few, just to be for you to be aware of. Let's see here, we have the new, or the one I do have an ARAC for this plane that should at least work from the one I downloaded in my last set. I think the way you do it is you want to set the position. You can't take this one, so I've kind of like just done it like this. This one you can't take. Then I always get invalid entry for that, so I guess that's the way to do it. And then it updates anyway to the FMS position, so very interesting. I think that's cool also that the buttons are moving once you press them. That's always a good sign. So now we put in our origin, our route. We haven't put in our flight number yet, which is 211. And what we then want to do is the departure and arrival. We're doing 24. Bulk to 5A. So we're going to Baltu, and then to Donad. Not sure if it should look like this, but it does work, so you can just fill in here the right information. I did a test flight with this just before my flight down there to Prague, and it does seem to work quite well, so that's very nice to see. And it's nice to have a CRJ in. Oh, did I write? Oh yeah, Koduk, sorry. Yeah, it's nice to have a CRJ in X-Plane. I don't like to buy kind of the same aircraft, I'll have some exception like the IXEG 737, 300 and Captain Sim one in P3D, but usually I try to minimize the overlap, right? Because I do want to have reasons flying both X-Plane and P3D. So that's why I'm happy that there was one version I didn't have in P3D that I could get for this one. It's a very well made plane, I must say, even though it lacks maybe some of the perfections of the more modern ones. So let's see, Esama was put in, doing another airway. So it's a lot of directs and quite a few airways as well. Sorry, not the best with the mouse here. God damn it. I don't know why when you do the right click I should just use the header switch, but I don't like it. It's very slow in X-Plane. Okay, so Batty, then we can do arrival. List 19. Oh, we need to select the start first, so we can do Batty. Now I'm not sure what that noise is that I'm hearing. Maybe one of the engines on some other plane is starting up. So yeah, I actually didn't flew any CRJs or similar, right? I was lucky enough to be flying Brussels Airlines down and then Finnair up. And I flew A320neo down to Brussels, then A319. Then I flew an A321 to Helsinki, and then I flew an A320ceo. So I did almost all of the normal ones within the Airbus narrow body. Let me actually change here the config to Lufthansa. We'll import the flight plan from Zimbrief. We'll add a SID from runway 24. Should be Balt, right? We'll add a star, runway 19, Batty. We'll add an approach, ILS 19. I just want to check quickly, we're coming in from flow, so is there something that gives us a direct like that? Perfect. I'm gonna connect the sim and validate.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard flight 211 with service to
Let's see if we have the trans here. We have flow.
Now that the cabin doors are closed, please ensure that
So
all
there we
devices
go.
are in airplane mode and your large devices are now shut down.
And I think we can do execute, and then we can just check that we have them all, which it looks. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna switch the radio here, right? You switch it through my, just because now I can hear the ATC in game as well, right? Because they updated that one. I think that was like the main one with these new beta updates to basically get that that ATC up and running in a more working way. Let's see, we can do the flight directors. They seem to be connected. The only thing I'm not too fond of in the cockpit is these two, but this might be how they looked, right? I mean, this is an older aircraft than the later CRJs, right? So there could have been some changes. In terms of weather, we have 1031. I think we change it here. And it also will change on all the other ones, so that's just good to be 1031. Yeah, so you can see it changed here as well. Also, I guess I can add that Prague was a great place, very nice food. Yeah, just a nice couple of days there. In terms of parking brake, I think that one is set. I think the boarding is complete. One thing to notice is I think these are tied to each other, so we don't have separate. Not sure if that's how it was in the real one, but I doubt it. We can also go here to status, flight plan, performance in it, thrust limit. And we do want to add this data, right? And I think the way to do that is by checking outside air temp. So it's a bit cold. And I think that should be it. Let me just check if we have any. Just want to know if we need to do the TGT. Oh, we get the values actually from our. So here we can put in our. So here is how we do it. So get inside it, and then we just put 9.5. So I guess you do this by taking from this one, right? So the pressure, altitude, and then the temp, right? I guess that's would be the ground level one, right? So if we're here, we're at 86.9. I guess, or 87.8 actually. 87.8. So we can put that in. We can also put in our other information, which you can find from the takeoff ref. So we need to think of our temperature, or sorry, God, I was listening to ATC, our weight. So for example here, I think this would kind of nicely align with what we have. And then, you know, we could do flaps 8, flaps 20 and all of that to get the info. So if to get V1 rotation and that sort of stuff. Okay, so we'll then put in our information by going to this one. Moving this knob, 141, it's our V speed select. V1 speed, 143, VR, 152, it's our V2 speed. So that looks good. Then the VT speed is 180, I think. So there we go. So I think we're pretty ready. Let me just ask for clearance, or IFR clearance. Lufthansa 4003, ready to copy IFR clearance. Oh, and what happened to all the ground handling? I guess they ditched after a while. And if we want to close the door, we just do that, and now we have all the doors closed. Okay, and now we should actually, I think you want to do all of these, but they seem to be correctly set.
Fly the Balt 5 Alpha departure, with the Balt to transition, then as filed. Climb to
So
flight
we are
level
clear.
080 via the departure.
080.
Expect higher clearances.
So you can
4
see it
minutes
down
after
there.
departure.
It's quite a far away from the altitude now.
120.52. Squawk 4003.
Oh, was it 080? Squawk 4003. Now we squawk here. 40.
Altimeter is 3041 ground
0,
on 121.9er Lufthansa 4003.
And then I guess you want to put that one, and then you can push traffic should be one of these, right? Or TFC, but not sure if that works. You should though see if it's not working down on these ones. Let me just make sure we have the the right range, and that we are on the right map, which we look to be. We're now on nav 1, so I guess we want to be on the FMC. Good. Let's just have a quick look on the outside. Looks like the EasyJet has departed, since I've been taking my sweet time with this. In terms of lights, we should have actually also put on the the nav light, the beacon. We can put on now. And we can now actually start the APU, which should be seen here. Lufthansa 4003 ready for pushback.
Lufthansa 4003 pushback approved. Pushback approved Lufthansa 4003.
And now I want to check Lufthansa 4003 ready for engine start.
Lufthansa 4003 engine start approved.
And I'm going to ask taxi as well, just because I want to know which way we should, if we should do a pushback. Okay, we're now getting the APU. Lufthansa 4003 ready to taxi.
Lufthansa 4003 taxi to runway 24 via taxiways hotel. Alpha,
Okay, so we should go front.
runway
It's a very short taxi.
taxi to runway 24 via taxiways hotel. Alpha, hold short runway 24 Lufthansa 4003.
I'm not sure if we should have more settings here, but I'm not gonna argue against it. At least we have something to know. The anti-skid doesn't seem to work. These seems to be possible to arm though. Spoilers. Seems to also be able to go into auto. I'm gonna arm these just so I don't forget. Anything else to mention? No. A lot of these pages do work, but not all of them, so that's something to be aware of. We can check our stab here. Put that in as well. And then we should now have our, I'm trying to figure out, I think it's that one and that one and that one you wanna put on. Then we can remove the external power by disconnecting it. Have a look on the outside. Looks pretty good. And we're just going left, so it should be quite quick. Taxi. We can start the engines, and here I do want to give you a, let me just check though if I'm forgetting something. I don't think so. I think we are looking good. I do think also that the weather radar works, so that's something good, or really good actually. It's very nice to have the weather radar, right? And let's try to start our engines then. You have to arm the ignition, and then we can start with the right engine first. The air condition packs should be put off. As you can see, we are seeing increasing N2 values. You need to wait until that N2 value is above 15, because if you do that, what I just did, moving this fuel shut off to idle, you will basically have engines burning. Happened to me multiple times till I realized that of course you need to wait for that when I read the manual like some sane person should do. So there we go. I do think these hydraulics should maybe have been on, so. But now we have a stable engine, and we can then just start the left one, and same. Need to wait till the N2 value is above 15. And then we can start the engine. So not very loud. And that could of course be the case. I was shocked actually at how not loud the aircrafts were. Only the A321 was very loud when we were taking off, but the rest were very, very not loud. We can do the generators on. And if I'm not wrong, we can do the packs. These. Don't think there's anything to do there. We don't need ignition. And then we can shut the APU completely and put the taxi lights on. We also put these probe. And is there anything else we could do already? Guess to normal with the wing. Here we can change the overhead panel light. Not sure if it works. Seatbelt sign we can also put to on. Asking for the seatbelt signs to be put on as well. But yeah, that's it. Actually, nothing else to kind of think of, or that you need to keep in mind. I'm just gonna change the stab a bit. Everything looks good. Not the best sounds, at least not in the inside, but otherwise sounds pretty okay. So let's get started. We will remove the parking brake. We need a bit of thrust, but first we need to set this to flaps 8, which you can see here. Oh, we don't want to have the... And now I'm trying to figure out why I have the flashlight. That's such an annoying... So toggle white flashlight is key 2. I'm trying to figure out... But I'm actually gonna quickly change it because I don't want the flashlight. Okay, that's key 3, that will do. Okay. So there we go. Now we can actually start to give a bit of thrust. See if this aircraft starts moving. We already have taxi clearance, all of that. Do we need maybe a bit more? There we go. We now have a moving aircraft. I'm gonna do the numpad back again. You can see things moving. It's a bit weird because even if you move out, you don't really hear the outside sounds in that regard with this aircraft. The taxiing is rather nice. I need a bit more thrust. The sounds is, I guess, the worst part of this plane, to keep it honest with you guys. But it could be much worse. Now let's see how this one turns. Looks pretty good. The lights look okay. Maybe a bit legacy, but could be worse. We can check also APU seems to be closed. And I mean, this is part of what makes flight sim so fun, right? You can have a flight yourself, then you know you can fly those airports yourself, or even redo the flight. I don't have an A319, or I have the Airsoft one, but I don't yet have the FS Labs one or the Tolis one. Not sure which one I'm gonna decide to buy yet, but let's see. But nevertheless, I I wouldn't have been able to recreate my Brussels to Prague flight since I don't really like the airsoft narrow bodies. So here you can see to the right, I guess was the Volanta or something. The right was clear, similar with the lift. Here on the right frequency, we do have the right lights on as of now. What really shocked me during some of my flights, specifically my last one when I went from Finland to Sweden, was how fast they taxi. Jesus. I always felt like, oh no, I'm taxiing too fast in the game, and I'm like, this is totally unrealistic. But they taxied much faster than I thought they, or at least what I remember them doing. So that was pretty cool to see. Okay, let's see, we're coming up at the end of the runway. I don't think I have like V1 callouts or similar, so that's just good to be aware of. But let's put in the nav. It doesn't show anything, so that's a bit tricky. Not sure if that's for any specific reason, but it's good to be aware of. This one is also very tricky. You have to like, I think you have to scroll it in opposite directions. So that's going minus, and we want to, of course, fly with a positive climb rate. So we scroll upwards with our mouse wheel. Lufthansa 400, my god. Lufthansa 4003, ready for takeoff.
Lufthansa 4003, there is no tower frequency at this airport. Takeoff at
Don't
pilot
believe
discretion.
that. I don't.
Wilco Lufthansa 4003.
Okay, well, if there is no takeoff, now the only thing I'm wondering is, did they get my IFR? They got my... Okay, well, if there is no tower takeoff, I'm not gonna be the one. Well, let's see if we get any handover. They said we were clear, so let's see. Also one thing, I think the rain effects and that sort of stuff, they do work. Strobe lights on, landing lights on. Anything else? Let me have a look. The only thing I don't like is that one. Is that how it should look? Well, we'll notice if we get any problems, I hope. I'm just gonna check that this one was clear to actually be traversed, and it looks that way. So let's see, 87. What was the TGT, right? That could be good to check.
Affirm, fully ready, 8404, good morning. Good morning, taxi to Echo 5. Echo 5, Oscar
87.8. Oh, let's get back into the... There we go. Camera got stuck. Okay, and now we can take off and hope for the best. Lovely runway, very nice. Oh, it was like 87.8, right? Maybe you can press. Okay, no success this time around. Oh, sorry, it's the TGT value, right? That's the one now on top. It's not the N2 values. Sorry, it's me being a total schmuck. Okay, we are a bit below, but we have airspeed alive. We have everything going correctly. We are at V1 and rotate. There we go. Oh, it's a bit fickle. But it does fly generally quite nicely. So let's see, gear, all 3 gears are up. We can do those lights off. It flies relatively nice. Also looks very nice. You have the nice effects. It really feels a bit small though as a plane. So look at those, not the best effects of course, but could be worse. I still think it's pretty cool though that you can kind of get those views in X-Plane and very fast. So I really like the camera system compared to how I didn't like it in the past. Okay, let's see, we are getting up to speed there and we're gonna try to do autopilot engage since it's just straightforward for now. And we do, I guess, have FMS. We have an alt that we're trying to reach on about 8,000. So weird with no tower frequency. I do hope they don't forget about us. Oh, we're now climbing very fast. And I'm actually gonna throttle back. Have a look at the thrust limit for the climb. Oh, the takeoff one. Oh yeah, you can press these, right? Do they change? Doesn't look like it. And we haven't yet heard anything, so I'm just gonna...
Lufthansa 4003 back on frequency. Lufthansa 4003 Roger.
Well, it's not the end of the world in case we can't get this to work properly. I'm just already gonna put because it seems like they totally forgot us. So let's just put this to 34,000 already. I will add quite a bit of vertical speed. Now let's go outside. Looks pretty good, the clouds, maybe a bit blocky now. Looked pretty decent on a bit of dark smoke coming out. Not the best sounds though. Looks very quiet on the outside. But I mean, they are small engines, right? So that could be it. Let's see how it does the turn. It doesn't really have any VNAV or similar, so that's good to be aware of. Oh, what happened now? Are we still following the... Oh no.
Gentlemen, we have now passed 2,000 feet. You may turn on larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to keep distance belt fastened throughout the duration of the flight and do not form a line near the lavatory.
We wanna go to Baltu actually. No, we wanna do a direct to Baltu. There we go. We wanna decrease the vertical speed quite a bit. We want to do the... Sorry, I think it was because I executed, probably had done some tweaking that messed it up. So it's on me, not the plane. The plane is only doing what it's been told. Looks very nice with the cloud shadows as well. They seem to be working very nicely. And the ground doesn't look too bad. I mean, this is the thing with X-Plane that's really got me. It would be nice, of course, with photoreal, but it doesn't matter that much. That's why I removed the Norway one I had. Okay, let's see. We need some more climb thrust to get this girl up. But let's see how it acts as we move forward. I do think it should work rather well, but you never know. Looks pretty good otherwise. Let me see what nice views I had. This one is pretty nice. Oh, we forgot the cockpit door open. That's a bit odd. Or I guess a bit illegal nowadays. Another thing I didn't do was set the baro ref back down to standard. That's now been fixed. Let's see how this Baltu one... and now we're stuck at 88.4, so now I'm actually wondering how they have implemented this. So it's a max one. That's cool. That's very cool. I hope that's in line with how it would be in real life. Then I learned something new. Well, let's see. And the clouds do look pretty nice. They're not bad, actually, at all. I don't know why, but it's just that they are so non-defined. I did get some pictures. I'm just gonna check if I can find them anywhere. And I'll share those. Part of the ADC seems to have totally forgotten about us, unfortunately, guys, so I do think I'm just gonna close that, since it will be since it won't work anyway. Well, let's see if I can find some of the nice cloud shots, and I'm gonna try to save some of the images so I can show them actually. Let me see, I'm just saving them. Okay, and look at like that, or look at that. It seems like we now have a working FMS. Do want to increase though our climb rate, because we are going very fast. Almost to such an extent that I am a bit worried we are overspeeding. Not sure if this one is such a rocket in real life, but here it definitely flies like one. Okay, now let me see the pictures, if I did get them to my picture galley. Or where did I save them? Now I need to have a look. So I right click, save image, downloads, that's why. Sorry guys. So first things first. This was with the A319 flying, and look at these clouds, right? So this is taken with an iPhone, it's not the best picture, right? But when you look at these clouds, and this was like at sunset, there's so much variety, right? You have some that are less clear here, but then here, they're just very clear, different layers. I should have taken more pictures, but I just totally forgot about it. Okay, now we're dropping off very fast in terms of our speed. So let's change again. We're getting into a cloud layer ourselves. So this was the first one, the A320neo. So this is at Arlanda, which you can see here. There's been some renovations. Then the second one, now it was a bit wet, the A319CO with the Brussels. You can see another one here. And then the A321 Finnair, and this is at Prague. You can see here a Swiss, I guess A220, and a KLM EBBR, maybe 190 or something. And then here with the last one, the A320CO Finnair, and here we have a lot of Finnair mainly and some Lufthansa. This is one of the latest departures they had that day before I guess they closed the airport for the night, at least in terms of activities. But yeah, look at this. We're flying through the cloud layer. I don't like that pixelation though, because it really destroys this, right? It's a nice thing to have a look at the... But I hope they really fix that, because that's one of my major gripes. That pixelation is not nice. Let's stop also our descent a bit. Or not descent, but our climb rate. We can decrease it a bit. Try and pick up some speed. We can have a look. I guess we have a top of descent somewhere around here. It's not the best map though. It's not the sharpest. I do wonder if there are more mods out there. If you do have any recommendations on that, please let me know. The seatbelt signs we could basically already put to off. Let's see if we can get that away, and we can. And now look at the outside. Very nice clouds. It basically just looks very... It's getting there. I explain it's getting there. Maybe not the best kind of theme or the most interesting, but it's not far off, right? From what I kind of showed you in that first picture that I showed, right? We're getting there, slow and steady. We're maybe not flying the best plane either in terms of visual immersion, but it's a good one. And of course we don't have photoreal, but I mean this is not bad, this world. It's actually very, very well done. But good, and I'm gonna quickly just pause here and we'll continue shortly. Just have to do some things. There we go. Okay, let's see, we are continuing to climb. We'll be passing Rapet, and then up to Kodak. Then we'll continue our flight towards EBBR. Let me see if we have an indication of a top of a climb. Could be that we just can't see it. I guess maybe not there, but we would want to change the format of the map. And then I guess you would want to move between the different Waypoints. You seem to shake a bit, but not sure if that's due to anything in particular. Looks pretty good otherwise. With our Lufthansa Cityliner. The weather also looks pretty good outside. Some, guess some overcast for certain areas, but that's about it. Okay, so we need to actually do our descent to a certain degree based on our own carefully calculated descent point. I'm gonna increase a bit our ascent rate or our climb rate. Yeah, so these seems to all be non-functional. We don't have anything on the screen stating that we haven't set something up. Does seem like we have the weather radar on. The wiper works, so that's good to know. Looks pretty good. Okay, we're still coming up on our, so I'm gonna a bit arrest our ascent rate or climb rate. 160 nautical mile, 304 total. I would guess at 34,000 we need probably at least 120 nautical miles. So let's see, once we get a bit closer, how much we'll need to arrest our descent rate or increase it. We'll know that soon enough. Anything else? Copilot's been awfully quiet today. I do wonder what that 14 stage thing is though. Let me just see, sorry guys, I'm zoning out a bit. It's me trying to check this 14th. The ISO. Could be, of course, that these aren't set up completely correct. We haven't noticed anything about icing. Let me see if we can, though, while we wait, we should be able to put our thrust limit into cruise mode, right? Let's see what happens here. Should this give us a maximum 89.3 or... let me see. See some fluctuations here. Can we use this one? Nope. Oh, actually, we should have calculated our pitch trim more correctly. That's pretty cool. He does provide this calculation. So that's very thorough. I really like this when they give these kind of thorough manuals. That's very nice. Sorry, I'm gonna move that away. You guys don't need to see that. You can leave that for me. But when I find aircrafts that are at least, to me, nice and I can appreciate them, I do like to share that knowledge. Why are we shaking so much? Are we really flying too fast, or is there some turbulence? Or it does look quite fast, right? But I can't say I know for sure. I have about 270 nautical miles left still. How's the outside looking? Some varied weather. We're just skimming the tops here. I do wonder though, would it have only these, or would it have, I guess, the text as well? But maybe that's for the Star Alliance run. Maybe that's how it should be. Let's see. We need to remember to change the source for the ILS. Talking about that, I guess we don't have Avitab on this. We don't have any that sort of things. That's good to be aware of. Which means we should use our dear friend Chart. Oh, sorry guys. That was my list of planes that I can fly in my different virtual airlines. Need to do some flights. And I do like to have the liveries for those virtual airlines when I fly, so that's why I have a list just to, so I can remember which ones I have. Unfortunately, a lot of virtual airlines are lacking in P3D, but maybe that's not so shocking, but in X-plane liveries. Like, I would really want to see more, for example, the Tolis A320. Both Metro and Air Vigo, they don't have that livery, which sucks. So that's a great plane to fly. But yeah, let's go back to what we were doing. So checking EBBR in order to find what the ILS for runway 19 is. Let's check here on the radio if we have any info that seems to give an indication that we are. So if we're talking about our, we can do 111.15. We can switch that out. So now we have that set. In terms of course, that might actually be good to set through the Logitech panel, because I'm gonna assume we won't be able to see that, but the course will be 193. So we are gonna set 193 as our course. Not sure why we have a different course there. Oh, it's because I guess it's the one we're heading towards now. And then I guess we're tracking something a bit different. We'll be turning again, following the FMS. Only 242 nautical miles left. Seems to be holding quite well, so that's very nice to see. Looks pretty good as well, the world. I really like the X-Plane default one is so much better than Land Class. It's not even funny. Land Class looks awful in comparison. Only thing it does better than Class is crispness, the details, you know, having more autogen and stuff. But yeah, it just doesn't look as good. Okay, good. So we have the right course. That's just good to be aware of. We can put nav on again. Make sure we are following that. But yeah, other than that, I think we're looking good. I'm gonna leave it like this for a while. I'm just gonna take a quick second break before we do some more of the approach planning. There we go. The Captain is back. Let's have a look at our situation now. 176 nautical miles. So still some ways to go, but we are getting closer. What we should start doing though is seeing if we can get the decision height, which is 305. And maybe, let me see, JRollon. You should be able to set the decision height, but for some reason oh, there it is, sorry, there it is. It's me being a bit slow. What did I do now? How did I manage to... Oh, there we go. So you have to press it in, right? And then you can tweak it. So let's say 1, 3, 10. We want 305, but 310 should do. Okay, good. So we have the decision height working. So that's nice. Anything else we need to check? No, looking pretty solid actually. There's been a lot of good sales as well, people, so try to get in on them before before they disappear, which they will, of course, sooner rather than later, I presume. There was even sales for the Flight Factor and the Hot Starter. The CL. I think it was the first time they had it on sale actually. Okay, let me zoom in here a bit. Try to see if I can discern any type of descent, which I don't seem to. I'll start descending at what does it say? Umupu? Yeah, I think that's it. Then we will ascend towards 3,000 feet. Let me see if there's anything else we need to consider. Maybe have a look at the missed approach. No turn for a while, and then an initial turn limited to 185 knots. Some holding patterns can be seen as well. but nothing special actually. To transition altitude might be good to check. Guessing 4,500. God, why do they have to keep it so? So, what would you say? So different. Can't they just have one standard one for Europe? That would be pretty good, I would think. Okay, let's see. We are coming up on Mupu. What we can do is check for the landing data. And what that means, let me just check what data we have in terms of VREF. Say we have lost some, around 140 I would think. Because we are quite a bit lower on the fuel now, we've lost about half. We can actually start descending as well. Let me put that in. God, I hate this, the functioning of the this altitude wheel, not the best. So we can put that down. Put this to 2,000 feet. I'll have to decrease thrust by quite a bit. As we continue decreasing the altitude that we're trying to reach. 3,000. Let me see if we have anywhere to put this in. Oh, maybe that's how you... Can't seem to do it there though. Okay, so now it should be on V1. No, wait. Why don't we have the VREF speed? Oh, it's maybe... Maybe you don't have that for landing. Well, no, it's around 140. 138 maybe. That's good to know. Anything else though? No, now we'll just descend. And keep a careful watch on this. See how it goes. Just so I don't forget, I'm gonna ask for seatbelt signs on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt.
Anything else? No, that should be fine for now, I think. Let's quickly jump out. Looks pretty good here. Some pretty nice. Let me check if I should change my banner to this one. This one seems pretty good. Let's maybe keep that one. Still taking one in the air. The ground looks pretty good. Frames looking pretty solid for being around Belgium or getting towards it. Slow and steady. We're about 100 nautical miles soon. Could be a bit tight. Let's see how if we are able to make this. I'm gonna pull back on the throttle a bit more. So let's see if that's sufficient. let's see. We are descending. Looks like there's some dirt on these. Maybe you can get rid of that actually. Or maybe that gives it a more immersive look. Still looks good, we have a transition. Maybe we can pull back a bit more on the throttles. And increase a bit the descent rate, yeah. That should be good enough, I think. Hopefully at least. Oh, if you've been following the recent geopolitical events, you should have seen the Syrian civil war. I used to follow that back in the day when Live Leak was still a thing. And my god, those clips. And the Syrian live map. But now, apparently Aleppo fell again, and yeah. Some very interesting things happening. But yeah, that just shows like hopefully some of these conflicts get to a resolution soon, even though, for example, I'm totally against the Taliban. In a way it's good for a country to kind of finally find some stability, right? And hopefully, like the best way for it to get better is then that it kind of develops. The risk is of course it never does, and then it's just a very bad kind of place for a long time, and then of course it wasn't worth having maybe the conflict ended in that way. But sometimes, you know, sometimes like the stability can hopefully bring something good. But yeah, let's see. It's very hard though. So like kind of like how to get a country on the right track. Some countries seem to need a revolution, like France or something like the UK takes a bit of a longer road, you know, being maybe like more conservative and then slowly getting you know, or I guess conservatives just means like slow changes, right? You're not traditionalist, which I guess would mean not having changes. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in a bit. I'm seeing some worse performance now. We're seeing some really low frames, like 14. Maybe the sim telling me I should never be flying here. Around, we have much better frames. But I don't know what it is about this area. That's just, it's like Belgium and Amsterdam. Like I really can't fly to those areas in X-Plane without getting these awful frames. Now it's a bit better again, but yeah, it's not the best. I wonder what that airport is. Doesn't look too updated. Maybe some cargo airport like Maastricht, what it's called, the one that's between the border, right? The Maastricht one, EHPK or something like that. Could be that one. Let's see, we're getting up to 10,000 feet and we really need to pull back now. I'm actually gonna pull back quite a bit just to get our, even though it'll decrease our descent rate a bit, to 1.7, I just need to slow down the aircraft as well, right? And look at that, this weather looks very similar to the weather we had when I flew into Brussels. There were more layers to it, but very dark. It looks very cool though, you can see the shadows, right? Beneath it. Oh, that's very nice. So let's see how this goes actually. So we're coming up on 10,000 feet. Put the landing lights on already so we don't forget. And we can decrease that one a bit. Then we can maybe do a call out on back X.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, this is your first officer speaking. We begin our descent, and we should be on the
I guess the first officer would do that. Or he did the speaking, not us. Okay, let's see. I guess we can get even lower on the thrust. Hopefully this should be getting us down. Let's decrease again the descent rate. Hopefully that will help. Check on the range quickly. See if we're getting down to the right one. We'll need to add actually a bit of flaps. And look at that. I just wanted to show you guys. Now we're adding, let's say, full flaps. And they do really, I think the sounds for the flaps, for the spoilers, for the speed brakes are pretty good. So let's see, we're now at a better stage. We can decrease a bit the amount of spoilers or speed brakes that we're using. There we go. Okay, we're way below speed we need. So I'm gonna try to get us back by increasing the descent rate a bit. Looks pretty cool, good. We're a bit, well, maybe not that high actually. Let's see if we're able to get down. I think this will be an interesting landing. Looks pretty nice. I need to have a look at the brightness settings. I think that's my issue. That's why I'm not getting enough clear clouds, because I think they could look better. But of course it's like midday, right? So the sun will be shining quite a bit on the clouds. That could of course explain it, right? Some reflection. But let's see. Okay, we're getting closer and closer. I guess we do have radar. Don't know why I haven't messed around with that yet. Okay, we're really getting close now. Let's try to get to the to be on final, and once we're on final, we'll change the nav. The nav data. Sorry, nav data. We'll change the nav source. Maximum continuous thrust cruise. I guess we can keep it at cruise, right? Not sure what the policy would be. Do you want to close the door maybe here? Let's see if we can do that. Yep, looks like we can. I'll do the recognition taxi lights because I'm gonna forget them otherwise. I'll add a bit of thrust while also descending a bit slower. Very no rush to descend. At least not immediately. Let's do 1.2. We're very soon gonna be in the clouds. This is a very low layer. 1025. And we're at 4,500, so we should change the QNH to. Oh, is it 1025? I guess that's closer to reality. 124.9. I'll rest the descent rate to 0.7. I think that should be. Oh, maybe that's a bit too little. 0.8 should be good enough. Then I should be able to stabilize the aircraft around 210 knots or something around that. And now we are in the cloud layer, as you can see by the wing getting all pixelated. And we need to be ready to. Well, we can arm. I'll keep the nav mode actually for now. I'll need to change it though once we get closer. I guess we can keep this on 5. 5 I think is pretty good. 2.5 is very low. Do we have any rain here? Wind. Conditions overcast at 2,800 feet. So maybe we should relatively quickly be able to get below the weather. I'll add a bit of thrust. And maybe a bit more, but not too much. This will be getting on the right altitude. These should be armed, right? This one should also be armed, we can't. Anything else? Anything else? No, this is looking pretty decent. We're gonna be turning now a bit. I think we can go to flaps 8. I think that's super unreasonable. Okay, let's be ready to switch so we can get that descent going. 3000 should be our speed here, so that looks to be correct. Hopefully the off-wall frames around 17 shouldn't derail this completely. But let's see, and let's keep an eye out if there's any rain as well. Okay, and now we're turning. And as we're turning, let's see if we can change the nav source and put on approach. Put a bit more thrust. Not that much, but just a tiny bit. 140 is our landing rate. No, landing rate. Our landing speed, or VREF, I guess you call it. We have the glide slope on and the localizer. We'll soon be on the localizer. I guess it's captured already almost. So around 10 nautical miles left. I'll add a bit more thrust. Very intrigued in seeing if we... Okay, we can see the glide slope moving. That's very good news. I'll add... I will do a flaps full landing, I think, just to be on the safer side. Damn, we're losing a lot of speed there. I'm gonna add a bit of thrust. I will drop the landing gear. As you can see, we're getting out of the weather. Like the pixelation, makes it hard to judge if there is any rain or... That looks to be the runway right in front of us. So that's good news. And let's see if we can go even higher on the flaps. I think we're coming in at pretty decent speed. Looks pretty good as well. You can see kind of the spray effects. Not sure if these are the X-Plane 12 ones or if it's inbuilt. Okay, let's see. I think this should be good enough. We'll go flaps full. I'll disconnect the autopilot. My controls, I should have said. Let's trim a bit. Gear are down. Speed brakes are on manual. Guess we can put them on auto, and let's try to get back in control of this airplane. We don't want to be unstable on our approach. We are a bit to the right of the localizer. We should soon be back on it. Okay, gear is down, flaps set. Yeah, looking pretty good. So let's get down at EBBR, the buildings look very nice actually. Let's see with the airport though, it looks a bit... Well, it's hard to of course tell if it's good from this far, but it's yeah, it does look like a normal X-Plane 12 airport. Okay, let's go to the left a bit. Yeah, let's see, we're getting up on our minimums. A lot of cars driving here, which does make sense to a certain extent, apart from the fact that they're driving within it. Not sure if they do that in real life. I guess not within the airport boundaries. Okay, let's see now. This is actually the runway we landed at when I flew to Brussels from Arlanda. Okay, we're a bit... Okay, but that was pretty good landing, I would say. Okay, we can do full or almost full thrust reversers, sufficiently full. We can do some manual braking. Yeah, thrust reversers off, speed brake off, flaps off, just so we don't forget. APU coming on. Let's turn here. We're seeing some nice liveries here. Brussels, Ryanair. Quite a bit of them as well. I mean, it's not bad airport. It doesn't look anything like Brussels in real life. X-Plane 12 Brussels, but I mean, I don't think my computer can handle it without like really bad graphics. Let me see if we have any good... oh yeah, APU gen. We put that on so we have that. Gonna give us some thrust so we can roll. Oh no, this was... do we have any EBBR? Yeah, we have a just sim one, so I guess similar to... Looks pretty good. But as you can see, very different. I really like the airport though, as a transition airport. There's one of those A319s if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we have APU now. That is a very good news. Guess we can go off with the packs, right? APU bleed on, that should be fine. Where should we park? Maybe we can actually just park here. Real quick. Wrap things up. Yes, look at that. The guy is waiting for us. This was a fun flight. I do give this one a lot of how would you say, I do give the developer a lot of cred. He's done a very good job. Okay, what's he saying? Come closer. But how close, man? How close? Okay. Parking brake is on, you can see it there. And then to shut this engine, I guess that's how you do it. Now the engines are being shut. Oh, we should have also, of course, turned off the lights and stuff, right? Small mistake, but hey. But yeah, I think that was it. They do have a nice Brussels South airport that's free. I just want to give a shout out to this developer because it looks very nice. The only reason why I haven't downloaded more of these kind of free ones is, well, to be honest, it's just, you know, too many libraries and I just haven't had time to sit down and get all of those. Good. Oh, I guess we have some minor errors, but I'm just gonna now show you the replay of the landing, which oh no. What does that mean? I guess we won't be seeing anything. It does seem like it crashed. No, that's very bad. Well, we won't see the landing, but I felt like it was a pretty good landing, so I think we can be happy in that regard. We'll end it all with this pic of the plane that we flew. Will have to suffice, but I think it's a good aircraft, so I do recommend you to get it if you want the CRJ-200. Otherwise, I guess there's other versions, or other, like I think Explain 12 has the later versions, the 700, those ones. But if you want the 200, the JRollon one is very nice, so I thoroughly recommend it. But yeah, that was it. Thank you for watching. Let's see what I'll fly next time. Maybe the IXEG 737, maybe some Metro Air Vigo ops. We shall see. But until then, take care. Bye bye.